I think the best strategy is having a constant dialogue with your child. Whenever you can develop a relationship that's not authoritarian and have a conversation and collaborate with your child and make them feel part of the discussion, you can move mountains with those types of dialogues.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast, your trusted source for real-world tactics that keep students safe and help them to shine online. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. Each week, I sit down with K-12 superintendents, district leaders, and community voices who are shaping digital safety. We discuss wins, struggles, and strategies used to guide students so they can be safe and successful online. Now let's get back to the conversation.
I'm Frankie Alvarado, Superintendent of Douglas County School District in rural Nevada. We're located in Minden, Nevada. We have approximately 4,700 students across 13 school sites, and we're really close to Lake Tahoe.
Superintendent, welcome to the program here today. I'm excited to have you here. Love Lake Tahoe, love that area. And I'm excited today for all of our listeners, whether you're a superintendent or whether you're a parent or a guardian or anyone in between that works with kiddos. We're excited today to talk a little bit about safety so that we can keep kids successful and get them on that trajectory when it comes to the digital tools. Superintendent, I'm going to lean on you today for some safety tips. I want to get some parent education strategies and tips and ideas, and we'll go back and forth and I'll get your insight. We're also going to get some dialogue starters from you at the end, and then I'm going to put you on the hot seat for some rapid fire stuff. Does that sound good?
That sounds awesome.
Well, I'm excited to have you today, but first I want to set things up, Superintendent, and ask you some questions. Now, you know that this podcast has about 220 superintendent conversations across 45 states. We're so honored to have so many district leaders participate. And after all these conversations, we've heard a consistent trend. We've heard that students are growing up in a digital world filled with powerful technology, AI, and social media. And in some cases, in some communities, actually many of them, they are lacking the maturity, the students are, and the guidance to use it safely in some cases. And the result sometimes is more student absences, lower focus, rising cyberbullying, declining self-esteem. And we also hear about new AI misuse in the classroom. But also, parents, on the other hand, are trying to raise good kids in a world they didn't grow up in. A world where technology moves faster than safety policies, and teens know how to hide apps and online behavior, and safety lessons usually come after a crisis. Superintendent, are there any other trends on this topic that you have seen so we can alert other school districts before they see them?
You know, the global trends that we see are really time management. Kids overextend themselves utilizing social media, extending their screen time into the late hours, which obstructs their quality of sleep and impacts their learning when they get to our schools.
So good. Time management. When it comes to time management, do you have any tips for parents to help kids manage? What you're really saying also is screen time management. How do we reduce the amount of screen time? And if so, what are some tips you have there to help parents reduce that screen time for so many reasons, for better sleep, avoiding chatting with predators online? What are a couple of your ideas?
Yeah, some ideas that I have are setting parent controls and restrictions on their devices. And parents can set passcodes, go into those settings, limit the amount of screen time kids can have on certain applications, but also turn off the device at a certain time every evening so kids cannot extend their time.
Yeah, so true. For all of our audience members, you've heard in other episodes, that's called being the tough parent the kid needs. Rather than being their best friend, it's the tough love to maybe take the phone out of their bedroom as well. We hear that from a lot of superintendents. Have it charge in your bathroom or anywhere else. Superintendent, are there any other tips as well? Like, what are some safety tips that protecting thousands of students in your community and helping them become resilient? What are some tips that you're hearing parents or counselors suggest to each other?
Yeah, I think the best tip for monitoring is purchasing a software that helps to monitor students' devices, where you get alerts on the different types of searches, the different types of communications. And that monitoring will help you parent your child and teach them individual accountability, teach them to be responsible, and teach them what the expectation is in your household and at school.
Yeah, absolutely. On that same note, parents, back to you, we have thousands of parents every single week and millions a year that attend our events and look at our content. One of the biggest trends we get is, Josh, what advice would you give a student to help them recognize some of the red flags of a dangerous stranger? Well, rather than hearing from the superintendent and I, let's hear from a real teenager about how she might help one of her friends recognize the red flags. What you're about to see is an excerpt from one of our real live events where a lot of parents will come to learn. They enter it for a chance to win cool prizes when they attend our live events. And also, they bring their teens because it's much easier to not get eyes rolled if teens are learning from other teens. Here we go.
If I had a friend talking online to a stranger, I think that I would feel a little bit uncomfortable with the whole situation. I would advise against it because so many indirect issues can come from that, and it could cause something to be worse than if they had just unadded them in the first place. Some red flags that I would have to advise them to cut it off with this person or to stop engaging would be if the person starts to get very involved in their personal life and they seem to be very intrigued in what's going on with them and wanting to know all the little details about what they do and who they are, and just very personal details and things that you wouldn't normally share with a stranger in real life. If they're very persistent and constantly wanting to talk to my friend or constantly trying to be involved in their life or wanting to speak to them, I feel like that's kind of a red flag. Another thing would be if they ask them to ever meet them anywhere in person right from the start, if they feel a sense of being uncomfortable or their intuition is just saying it's wrong, or if my intuition is saying something feels wrong with this, then I think that's a major red flag.
Parents, remember, you can come to our free evening events where we not only teach you how to keep your kids safe, but also successful online. We have the best app guides. Shout out to our amazing army of parents nationwide here at smartsocial.com who do the research to give you the incredible parent TikTok app guide, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, Netflix, WhatsApp, 450 more. They're not just in English. They're in 12 different languages. You've got them native in English, native in Espanol, and native in Mandarin. And then you've got 9 more. No one's left behind. Parents, some of our biggest events that you can watch the replay for and come for free is AI for student success, being productive and learning future skills. Sneaky ways video apps keep teens watching. We've got these in English, multiple days. Gone are the days of one social media safety speaker coming to your community and all of a sudden you're like, I missed it because I had something else. We have lots of them, replays, multiple languages. You even see one right here in Espanol. Absolutely incredible. And lots of the hottest and most urgent trends covered each and every single week. Parents, we've got these weekly live parent events and replays, keeping you safe, real teen-led video lessons. It's taught by teens, so you can bring your teens if you want, and a premium parent newsletter. All right, Superintendent, we're back over to you. In addition to these 220 superintendents who have given us some time and some thoughts and some tips nationwide, we've heard from communities like theirs, and we're hearing that many parents feel overwhelmed trying to keep up with fast-moving online trends and digital safety risks. We're also hearing that students are finding really clever ways to increase their screen time and bend the rules, especially when the expectations at school and back to school might differ significantly from those at home. Superintendent, I want you to teach us, what trends or pain points are you seeing when it comes to parent engagement? And where do you feel families are struggling the most to stay informed or connected?
In Douglas County Schools District, we try to partner with parents. For example, last year there was a TikTok challenge, putting lead in the Chromebooks and starting fires. And one thing we did as a school district is we sent out a communication advising parents of this trend, advising them what the ramifications are on the school side of things, and what our expectations are for students if they were to engage in this type of challenge at school.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt a lot of Chromebooks, right? They would stick something in the USB thing to melt the Chromebook essentially, right? And it hurts the school. It hurts everything. The kids then can't study, and students think it's funny. What was the feedback from parents on talking with their kids about that?
Parents appreciated the communication and the notice of this challenge that was happening through social media. Not all parents are on these social media platforms, and sometimes they rely on the schools to provide this notification.
Yeah, so true. And good on you too to communicate that to them so that they can be aware, have that rich dialogue with their kids. Okay, so for all of our audience members, we host these free, amazing evening events. One of our upcoming ones that's really popular, we'd like to invite you to, and I'm going to give you a little teaser to, is called Sneaky Ways Video Apps Keep Teens Watching. We teach every parent how to understand the subtle ways video apps keep teens captivated, and parents learn strategies to help their kids balance screen time. One of the biggest trends at this really big popular event that we have is parents ask us, Josh, what are some tips to help my teen manage their screen time? Well, let's hear from 2 teens with tips on how they reset their screen time. And one of them, the first one's going to show you why it's so important that his mom gets involved to help guide him?
I just try to hold myself accountable about how much time I'm spending because you can get lost really easily. While you're doing it, you think 30-second videos, what's the harm in that? But then when you've launched 4 hours out of your day, you feel a lot of regret. Why would I spend 5 hours scrolling on this app before bed when I could have been getting more sleep or being more productive throughout my day? My mom, she always lets me know when I'm just dead scrolling on TikTok for hours. Like she usually tells me how long it's been. You should probably get up and go do the things that you need to do. So besides holding yourself accountable, it's really helpful if you have a parent or someone that cares about you to hold you accountable for how much time you're losing on those video apps.
Some techniques I use to stop myself from getting sucked into social media is being very aware of why I'm on there, as well as understanding how it's addictive. Even though it can be fun to just sit on my phone and scroll and lose myself in it, keeping in mind the things I need to do and setting aside the time to do that rather than falling into it like a trap.
So many good tips there directly from the teens. All right, Superintendent, at the end of the slide, I want your feedback, advice, knowledge, please, your insights. Parents, we at Smart Social really believe that a rich dialogue with your kids is the #1 safety app in the world. No offense to Microsoft and Google, but they're not going to wake up at 2 in the morning and go, I am monitoring your kid. What really happens is you as a parent then know where your kid's at. And when they feel comfortable coming to you, hopefully someday, then they will see something online and you will be the first teacher there and the first protector. And that's what we want to happen here at Smart Social. So here's some questions you can ask your teen to have an open conversation to help them evaluate the quality of their screen time. Keep in mind, if they roll their eyes, that's okay. You get 5 extra points here at Smart Social. Even if they roll their eyes, they may come to you in the future and they may protect their friends and so on. The first one is, how do you feel after your screen time? Notice how it's not a yes or no question. They can't just say yes or no, mom, and roll their eyes. Rather, they have to think about it a little. Does that app or activity that you're on make you feel stronger or weaker after an hour? And that's what? What do you mean? Well, you can go into what screen time activities or apps make you feel stronger. And, they may take this anywhere. When I'm on YouTube and I'm learning how to cook or I'm learning the guitar or something else, and you can dive into those rabbit holes, become interested in your kids' interests and go, fascinating, let's learn more, develop a closer relationship with what they're doing online. What activities make you feel more focused or relaxed? And last, how much time do you think is healthy online? And this is where they start setting their own goals. Superintendent, do you have any tips? Do you have a favorite one here? Any ideas? Is there anything we're missing? And what strategies do you have for parents to develop that relationship with their kids?
I think the best strategy is having a constant dialogue with your child. Whenever you can develop a relationship that's not authoritarian and have a conversation and collaborate with your child and make them feel part of the discussion, you can move mountains with those types of dialogues.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any suggestions for parents on the best place to have that dialogue?
Yeah, the best place for me is at the dinner table. We talk about highs and lows for the day. We talk about challenges that are getting in the way of learning. We talk about what's coming up in the school calendar. Those are all good strategies to prepare your child and give them the mindset that's needed so they can succeed.
I love that. Basically prepping them. Hey, here's what's coming up in a month. Here's what's coming up in a week. I absolutely love that because you're making them little adults going, wow, I can prep for that. There's no shocks. I can think ahead and I can ask questions now of my parents right now. That's really great. Superintendent, I want to put you on the hot seat now. I want to do rapid fire questions. My first question for you is, what can parents do to help their teens reset their screen time?
When it comes to resetting screen time, here are some things that parents can do. They can go into the settings of their students' devices and set parent passcodes. They can have a rich dialogue with their child and discuss individual accountability, discuss the expectations, discuss the impact that this is having on their child's life.
Great tips. Superintendent, in addition, how do autoplay and algorithm-driven feeds at home impact students' focus and mental health at school?
A student's mental health and focus at school is impacted by autoplay and algorithms that are built into these social media platforms. That's an issue. Parents need to be aware of that. When they see students that are overusing social media, overusing the screen time, they need to set limits, engage in that rich dialogue, set the expectation, and then monitor their students' use thereafter.
Yeah, so many good tips. Okay, Superintendent, my final one. What's one sign that a teen's video app usage might be shifting from entertainment to addiction?
Yeah, parents will notice that their students' use of social media or screen time is shifting from entertainment to addiction when they do not release that phone from their hands, when it's a distraction from that rich dialogue at the dinner table, in the vehicles, when you're traveling to and from different places, when you're on vacation and it's disrupting the family fun time. Those are things that are red flags for parents.
Yeah, that was a big one too. I love that you said that when they don't want to let go of that device. Hey, Superintendent, you've got a busy job. You took a lot of time away from your day job to help us and give us insights. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Josh, I had a really great time. Looking forward to seeing this in action.
Absolutely. To all of our audience members, remember, it's all about keeping your kiddos safe, that rich dialogue, monitoring them, being with them there so that they can be successful someday. And that means so that they can shine online with a positive online portfolio when you're ready after the age of 16, which is also when we suggest that they start getting on social media after 16, not before. No shame if they're on earlier. We just got to monitor them, look over their shoulder, really be where they're at. And one last thing, parents, nothing is as great as modeling. So always remember to keep it light, bright, and polite. No matter what you post online, you are their first teacher and they will model what you do online. I'm Josh Ochs, the founder of smartsocial.com. Excited to see all of you on the next episode. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Thanks for spending time with the smartsocial.com podcast. If today's insights were useful, please share the episode with a fellow parent or educator and subscribe so you never miss our next conversation. And parents, make sure to join one of our next live online events each week to keep your family safe and also enter for a chance to win cool prizes. You can learn more at smartsocial.com. I'm your host, Josh Ochs, and parents, remember to keep it light, bright, and polite because your kids are watching what you're doing online. I'll see you on the next episode.